Hey guys, hello everyone. We're at another one of our awesome big projects. And today I'll tell you how to create large stained glass windows, second light, without any floors, with a height of 6, 7, 8 meters. How is this done correctly? Technically speaking. Behind me is a stained glass window 8.2 meters high, which has no horizontal floor slabs. This is a solid stained glass window. It's vertical, so posts are solid. They can be made in several types. These are aluminum or steel. We have used aluminum here. Moreover, this is a special length post. I'll show you everything from the inside now, how it looks, and see how massive it is. Now I'll get closer. Cool, right? Here it's 9 meters wide. Each span is 3 meters. 8.2 meters in height. We have two such stained glass windows. On the other side, there's an identical stained glass window. Let's go inside. This is how the stained glass looks from the inside. These are the vertical posts. They are quite massive in depth. The depth here, this depth, is 250 millimeters. This solution, look, 8.2 meters in height, and there are no joints. The standard post in Alutech is the Alutech system with a length of 6.8, but ours is 8.2. And we had the task to either splice it or order a special length. And we agreed with the Alutech factory and the customer, discussed everything, factored it into the cost, and ordered a custom length of 8.2 meters. Solid posts, firstly, they are difficult to manufacture and transport, and secondly, painting them is also not easy because Alutech couldn't paint them for us. We ordered them unpainted, brought them here, and found a painting facility in Russia that is 11 meters long. They specifically painted all these posts there. In general, we went all out for such a powerful post of 8.2 meters. Only Alutech has them. The walls there are just very thick, more than 5 millimeters thick. And inside, there is also a reinforcement, meaning it's not just hollow. This kind of reinforcement, like here below, is metallic, meaning there's a solid piece of aluminum. It runs along the entire length of the post and additionally reinforces it to withstand all wind loads. That's why, even now, when we push the glass facade, it doesn't sway or shake. Accordingly, it withstands all wind loads. And this is such a cool panoramic solution. I want to tell you a bit about the numbers, the scale. The weight of this entire glass facade is 7 tons. These large glass units weigh 1,600 kilos each at the top. And each post, just the post itself with the reinforcement inside, weighs 300 kilo. This cannot be assembled manually. Not just the glass units, even the frame itself cannot be assembled manually. Here, the guys used winches to lift one post to assemble a 300 kilogram post, and there are 4 of them here. In total, a 7-ton glass facade. And, can you imagine, it is even mounted on an overhang, meaning it doesn't even stand on concrete, it hangs in the air. These are simply incredible special solutions that were developed by us specifically for this project. Look at these huge brackets. Here is such a huge bracket with 3 gussets, which supports all this weight under each post. The post is secured to the base at level, and there are separate metal brackets for the glass units, specifically for the glass unit, because system pads, even cross-shaped ones, from any manufacturer cannot support such weight. It doesn't matter if it's Schuco or Alutech, the weight is too great. They are custom providers like Alutech. If they were told that Artem Volkov made such a stained glass window, they would have tapped their heads and said, "Is he crazy? You can't do it like that." But we don't just sit around. We come up with special solutions. That's why these supports, as you can see, are made specifically for the glass unit, and they indeed hold and support such weight. And in fact, if you apply such special solutions, there are no limitations. As my good friend Anton says, "Operator, the only limitations are in your mind. You can realize anything you want. Reach out to me, and I will bring any of your fantasies to life." And now I will tell you what equipment is used to install such large glass units. Mini cranes are usually used for this, but our task was a bit more complicated because we are inside a courtyard, and the crane simply cannot drive in from the sides. There are concrete fences here, neighbors, and so on. Therefore, the task was to find an optimal lightweight solution. A mini crane, that would lift. A large crane lifts the small one into the courtyard, along with the crates of glass units, and then we work here with this mini crane. We spent a long time selecting the equipment, as there aren't many mini cranes available on the market. And we found one mini crane, but we had to wait 3 weeks for it because it's constantly in use. The Dutch mini crane is really cool from the company AgroMash, and now I'll tell you more about it. Let's go. Vladimir. Hello? Hello! This is a representative from the company AgroMash, the operator. So with the crane, there's always an operator with a remote control, and he accordingly manages all this equipment. Look at how it's small, it's compact, yet it has a lifting capacity of 4 tons bomb, which is quite rare for such specifications.
Which cranes can boast such features, right? I understand correctly, so this is simply unique equipment, exactly. There aren't many cranes like this on the market.
In your company, how many such cranes do you have?
Exactly 2 of these, but we have others with different lifting capacities and accordingly different specifications.
Are you always the operator of this crane?
No, we rotate. We can operate any equipment, any mini crane. We also have glass robots for glass installation, so we operate those as well.
Vacuum suction cup, how many vacuum grips are there? It's 10, I think, right?
There might be even more, probably.
A crane with a 4-ton capacity, and the suction cup must also have a certain lifting capacity. So there are many types of these suction cups, which is why the equipment is selected individually for specific tasks. And here we specifically chose this crane and this suction cup. You see, the installation process is going smoothly. We are not experiencing any emergencies. We've already installed a bunch of double glazed windows, and today the guys will literally finish installing the remaining 3 units, and we'll start on the others. Over there, on the other side of the building.
Another huge advantage is that the operator is located directly near the installation site, and the installer really likes this because the operator controls the installation process themselves. That is, these centimeters, even millimeters sometimes, when the glass is inserted into the opening, when you're working with a large crane. While the team communicates via radio, the crane operator might not react in time. And these centimeters are exactly where it might fall short. Directly close to the installation, and I can see everything perfectly, assessing the situation myself. Listen, I understood that the guys told me about this suction cup. It has a rotation and accordingly a tilt, and this is done directly from the control panel.
Well, and it has its own control panel. The advantage of such a suction cup is that a regular suction cup, you just hang it on the glass unit. This way, it starts to tilt there. It's difficult to install, but with such a large suction cup, it's easier because it's mechanical, meaning we can cut it exactly mechanically or with electricity, and accordingly, it can be used. With the remote control, you can directly attach the glass unit, and then you can turn it, tilt it, rotate it, meaning you are controlling the entire process. And you can, as it were, even the crane itself, when it moves, it has a very smooth motion, so you can catch the millimeters very precisely. And this is extremely important in our work, because if you jerk the glass unit somewhere, if it hits the edge, it can break. That's why such equipment allows you to do everything very precisely. And now I'll tell you another story. The client initially wanted an 8.2-meter glass unit without any mullion. You see, up there at the height of 6 meters, there is a mullion. So we have a stained glass window that is 6 meters and 2.2 meters. Yes, that piece on top. We decided to do it this way, but we specifically wanted a solid piece. But in Russia, unfortunately, they don't produce glass units longer than 6 meters yet. Everyone promises there in Chelyabinsk. Our company, Modern Glass, will set up a 12-meter line, but it's not available yet. We considered the option of bringing it from Europe because in Europe they can make 12-meter ones. But unfortunately, there arose a problem with selecting the shade of glass. Because for such large glass, it would be from Europe, and for the rest, the glass would be from Russia. And they differ in shade. And that's why we couldn't match the shade. As a result, the client had to make a transom. But I hope that someday such production will appear in Russia, and we will be able to implement and show you some 12-meter glass units. Solid, and it will be just out of this world. It's my dream. So please subscribe to the channel. When I implement such a project, you will be watching it. That's all. Goodbye, everyone.